So, welcome everybody. Another Tuesday and yet another AMA with myself, Firefly, and in the audience we have Zephyr and FJ40. Welcome, guys. So, today
Hey.
I would like to share with the community the new design of the website. Is not deployed yet. This is the draft we received from our designers. We already provided some feedback. There are some comments here and there, but essentially, the design and the look of it is there. There are some small adjustments to be made, and then once that's done, they'll be deploying that for us to our main website. So we can just very quickly skim through it just to demonstrate. It is an interactive website, so basically you have to scroll or press arrows up and down to move up down on the website. Obviously there is a menu to the left. There are also some links that for now they don't work, but you can see uh, we'll be linking to different elements of our ecosystem and whatnot. So there are menu buttons in here, and if we just go through the website, so as you can see, it is sort of floating from one section to another. I don't think we need to read that out loud. It's just to demonstrate how it sort of all works and changes from section to section, and then highlights different features of DeFIRE project. Um, then just kind of following this DNA helix pattern that was sort of the driving motive behind those graphics. So each section kind of builds on top of the previous one with with those
Mm.
with those sort of floating elements, and now we have some highlights and description of each element of the ecosystem and whatnot. Then obviously, by clicking the links, you'll be then taken to, let's say, Blaze dApp, or you'll be taken to, GDFire token, voting and staking and locking, and then you will be taken to Ignite protocol itself. I mean, for now, those links are not here, but they will come when the site is deployed. Moving on, yeah, a little bit about the DAO. Um, So, I mean, it's the text is probably familiar to or similar to what we already have on our website. It's mostly the graphical elements and the interactive bits that are new to it, you could say. Um, then yeah, links to our Medium posts and articles, and then yeah, a little bit about getting involved. And here there will be a section with our partners and their logos, and that is what actually the design studio is updating as well at the moment. So that was like just a short presentation of the website. What do you, Zephyr FJ40, think about that?
So let's see. It's it looks nice. It's. I feel like some of the kind of things kind of bleed in with each other. Maybe it's just because my room's dark, but So I like the helix kind of thing. Yeah, but it kind of bleed. There's like the darker kind of blues and patterns where it kind of goes up. I feel like there needs to be a little bit more contrast. My personal opinion.
Mhm.
Um.
Sure. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'll say that's probably, like
Like the
personal
core
preference
itself,
and taste,
like the
right?
core
Yeah.
itself, like it's fine. Like it does its job. It's doing good work. I mean, just more like touch-up points if that's what you were asking. But if you're asking for just like, is this like the way it is? And yes, if I would change a few colors, but other than that, looks pretty good.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I think the colors we are pretty much settled on because that sort of goes back to the whole brand design.
Mm-hmm.
So the color palette is pretty much settled. I mean, we have those dark blues. We have the light blues, as you can see up there, right, in those
Yeah.
menus, for instance. Then we have the kind of the neon reds as well. So yeah,
Mm.
so the color palette is kind of, yeah, going like dark blue with those neon red and blue highlights, right? So that's
Yeah.
sort of the design. It could be that. So you were saying that this is kind of hard to distinguish those kind of patterns from the background. That's what you were saying, or
Pretty much the background. It's just there's not much shading or kind of contrast to like it's very blue. Like so if you have kind of a blue object on top of a blue background, it kind of bleeds into each other.
I see. Okay, so it's interesting because perhaps all right, that's good feedback. I'll turn back into back to the design because it could be well, one, it might be Discord streaming kind of quality,
Yeah,
but
yeah. So
two,
Discord,
because on my screen, I mean those let's say those patterns and the
like
background,
the pink,
they are quite distinct. You
right?
know, you can actually see quite well the difference between the patterns and the background. So
Yeah, it might be that Discord thing because this is in very low quality. I don't actually. It's in
hmm,
1080. It is, but nowadays if it's like 2160 pixels or higher, it's hard to.
yeah, but it's also about the color rendering, right? I mean, maybe Discord is sort
Yeah,
of messing that one up. So it could be. I will certainly ask the designer whether that is something that
yeah.
is
You
that
can
like
look
an
into
issue?
it.
Is it like a general issue, or it's something with the streaming and whatnot? Because certainly
Yeah.
certainly there is, yeah, on my screen is definitely let me see if I can, if I take a print screen and I will then while we speak I'll just go to Discord and
Oh yeah.
I will post it there. Tell
Like if
me,
I look at your.
yeah,
Yeah, sure.
have a look. I mean, what can you see now? How does it look in the general chat? Is it the
It
same?
looks okay. So yeah, but it looks better, but it's still a little dark. But otherwise, pretty good.
Hmm.
Way
Thank
better than it was in the Discord.
Okay, so
I mean,
so
sure.
all right, so everybody who is watching and having the recording and having the same issue as Zephyr, then yeah, have a look.
Either way, I'm just a picky guy. No worries, man.
Okay,
Like
yeah, yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
the whole thing. That's the whole thing about the community thing, you know. And that's why
Cool.
it's good to have it. Just
Absolutely.
allow people
Oh
to
yeah,
share with their
yeah, yeah,
opinions.
certainly. Okay, thanks, FJ. I mean, FJ looks right. It looks nice on his end. So yeah, it could be the quality, the streaming, the screen itself. If you're watching on uh, on a mobile that is like 7 years old, perhaps that might be the issue as well. I'm just joking, obviously.
Yeah,
Uh, no, no, but
yeah.
I know. I mean, I think the best, obviously, the final result and the final and the best, obviously,
Mhm.
presentation would be when people will have a chance to access the
Play with it.
website. Exactly. I mean, go to
Yeah.
the website and access it. I mean, for now, we are not sharing it yet because it's not final, and there are still
Yeah.
some
No.
typos and some
No.
issues with the copy text. But otherwise, it should be relatively soon when we are deploying that. Designers are soon to be finalized,
But
and
yeah.
then
No.
yeah.
No
So,
worries. Like this looks good. Just keep going.
yeah, yeah, certainly. So that was few updates on the website. And then the other topic I wanted to touch upon because actually recently someone mentioned to me there is this new fancy term being more and more used in Twitters and Medium and whatnot in kind of in the context of DeFi, which is this real yield. So now protocols are trying to kind of separate themselves from what was happening last year. So degenerate APYs, right, going into million percentage or even more. Now it's all about sustainable tokenomics and then revenue stream generation and sharing that with the community and token holders. But essentially, what it means, this real yield movement, if we call it like this, is ultimately, well, sharing the revenue with the token holders if the tokens are either staked or locked, similar to Curve project. So and that's I started kind of I just explored a few tweets and few Medium posts about it earlier today because somebody just mentioned, look, guys, but you should probably try to tap into that because your entire model about the DeFIRE project and DeFIRE token is about that. Is about sharing the revenue with the holders of our utility token. So I sort of started looking into that, and I was like, yeah, definitely. I mean, this is nothing novel, nothing new, just a new name for something that was already
Hmm.
tried and tested, and then protocols that perhaps again I don't know which protocols are using those terms, but I imagine perhaps some that launched already a year ago or so, where that were sort of that they took part in those
Hmm.
degen APRs, and now they want to rebrand themselves into real
Yeah,
yield
so yeah,
protocols, right?
yeah. So like a lot of the own forks that survived, and they had like insane kind of use, APRs and all these jazz, like, and a lot of products did, and then as they kind of get in the year and a half mark, they're becoming more. I want to say they have more users, and thus the pie is divided into a more sustainable amount, so to speak. Um.
Yes, and
So yeah.
definitely. So no, no. So it was just an interesting thought.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I thought it was relevant to share, interesting to share, because that's something that we in DeFi was kind of already bringing into the design of the entire project. Well, more like 9, 10 months ago, since we started working on it, and now it seems that the market is catching up, and more protocols are looking into the same tokenomic principles, where the project collects the treasury collects the revenue, and that revenue flows towards the users. So there is this kind of separation between the token price and the actual upside the user might enjoy from holding the token, and one and another might not necessarily go hand in hand, but hopefully this revenue sharing scheme is going to be compensating for, let's say, negative price development, right? I think that's the whole idea behind it.
Yep, for sure. Um.
So yeah,
Well.
so that was just a small topic I just wanted to touch upon. Otherwise, yeah, sharing the website that I just did. Other than that, still progressing on the development of the smart contract. We're getting closer and closer to finalizing the scope. We actually had end of last week and early this week, actually yesterday, review sessions with the developers, where we were sort of discussing in details the architecture implementation, and then providing feedback so they can improve certain aspects of the and certain functionalities. So they are working on that. The front end team, they are progressing parallel to the smart contract development, so that is also ongoing. And the third sort of path are the works on the tokenomics, so the kind of design of the token itself, more about what kind of mechanism to build into the protocol that would help control or stabilize the demand of the token, and also its price. So there'll be mechanisms that the treasury or the DAO can deploy to counteract, let's say, negative price movement, for example, right? So so
Hmm.
so that is what we're also working on. Apart from that, usual business, building new partnerships, and finding protocols to collaborate with, finding applying for grants, and usual stuff that is just going on all the time. Um, other than that, I think it's same as usual. Just pushing forward and then progressing on various fronts, strengthening the team. I mean yourself, Zephyr. You're also getting closer and closer to the project, which is great, and will be helping out with kind of reaching out to more communities and then opening up
You
towards new investors
Persh.
and partnerships. So
Oh,
that would be also fantastic because we definitely need help with that. So happy to
I
have
mean,
you
I mean,
involved.
a- absolutely. I'm happy to help. Um, you know, I'm very interested. Compared to a lot of the projects in this space. At least startup space. You could become a medium cap company. On your launch overnight. Potentially if the protocol does well, people use it. They like the UI and the user interface and the user experience. It's all a very rewarding process and things go well. There's measures in place to prevent abuses. And then people are making a small profit by the end of the day, then yeah, you will do, at least in this DeFi world, you could be very successful. Like, it just takes that one very smooth kind of launch, or as smooth as you can. You don't ever have a perfect launch.
No.
Anyone who has a perfect launch is a fucking liar. They're a
Yeah,
liar.
yeah, no, no, of course. I mean, no, no. I mean, obviously, perfect launches they don't happen. But what we need to, well, the only thing we need to make sure is just to try to think and cover as many loopholes and solve any issues that we might kind of foresee that could materialize, right? And if that is taken care of, then you're getting as close as you can to this perfect lunch. But as I say, it never happens. There is always something unforeseen that you didn't think of. I mean, if you could think of all the unforeseen, then they wouldn't be unforeseen, right? So that's the thing. But the solution to it is obviously to build a robust and diverse team, and have different expertise looking into the project to identify as many challenges and issues as possible before the project goes live, right? So yeah, so
Yeah,
that's so that's sort of the plan, and then so we are working, as I said, on strengthening the team and adding new skills and then personalities to the team. So then it's diverse. So the more diverse it is, the more challenges it can identify. So that's definitely a positive thing. Yeah. Other than that, well, feel free to ask
mm-hmm.
questions to both you, Zephyr, and FJ40. I mean, you're more than welcome, FJ, to just type them in the chat if you have any. And Zephyr, if you have, as you mentioned, yeah, you need to go 2:30, so or 2:30 my time, but God knows what time you are in. Um,
I don't know. It's every AMA with you is 5 a.m. in the morning for me.
Ah,
It's
5
like,
5 a.m. That's
yeah.
that's fine too. I imagine. Oh, FJ is typing something. Excellent. So, waiting for his question then.
Actually, the meeting I had to go to was, extended to a different time, so we are good, my man.
Mhm,
I'm just trying to get the Twitter event,
mhm.
the not Twitter event, sorry, the announcements.
Oh,
Yeah, the
um,
AMA, the AMA. If your users are mostly American, you're not going to have,
no.
the
Yeah, FJ. We have also other AMA with another team member, Wilder, and those AMAs are, let's say, a little bit more. In a better well they take place in a
it's
in, a- in
on
a
the
later
Western
time of the day.
Hemisphere.
Yeah,
It's
it's
on the
indeed. So yeah, so they are a little bit different in a different time zone. So myself, I'm trying to sort of give this window for the EMA for people in Europe and in Asia, and while there is mostly covering the Americas and perhaps also Europe, because then it's like late evening or early night in Europe when Wilder does his AMA. So we have those two time slots. So yeah, I mean next time if this one is too early, then yeah, definitely join Wilder that he it's either it's Thursdays or Saturdays. This is his usual days. But yeah, just keep an eye, and then we are posting those time slots or those AMAs and announcements. So, but yeah, but anyhow, thanks for joining and stopping by, guys. Well, then no more questions. So I guess we
Hmm.
can just call it a day, and then
Well, depends.
you're starting the day 5 a.m. Sure.
No, 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 unless you have to, because I got permission from Apollo to, hopefully some people from Collectiverse might, pop in,
Oh,
and some people from IO to B.
oh,
So,
oh yeah. I mean,
I'll,
I'll be still. I mean, I'll be still hanging out here. So yeah, definitely.
oh,
If anybody wants to join, and and then
for,
chat about the
for
project
sure.
questions, I'm here. I'm not leaving. I might just stop the recording, so we just don't record.
Yeah,
Well,
you can just cut off the audio part. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but yeah, I might very well just do that then. So recording.